Sharon H here. Today's video is 10 things I wish I knew before I got married. As someone who's been married for almost 27 years, I definitely have a list of things I wish I knew before I got married. Just remember, this is light-hearted, coming from my own perspective and viewpoint. Take what advice you want and let the rest slide right off of you like Teflon. Let's do this. Number one, it's nothing like the fairy tales. That's it, absolutely nothing like the fairy tales. Firstly, marriage is real, and with every passing day, month, year, the realer it bloody gets. I think when we are young, we build this illusion in our mind that when we get older, we find Mr. or Miss Perfect, get married, and happy forever after follow suit. Well, let me say, don't hold your breath. Thing is, married life can be bliss, and it can be 50 shades of fuck sideways, and that ain't got sweeter fate to do with the bedroom. Marriage, where real life slaps you upside the head, gives you an uppercut into the world of adulthood, bills, stresses, and the unexpected. It's like walking a tightrope between bliss and pissed-offdom at any given time. When you spend so much time together in close proximity, at times you're gonna clash. I remember my mum saying to me many years ago that in time that giddy feeling fades, and it's true. After almost 27 years of marriage, if I get a giddy feeling, I worry that the granola yogurt I had for breakfast was bloody off. Marriage can be beautiful and marriage can err on the side of ugly. And some days, that's all before lunchtime. About give and take, and some days we need to take more than we give. And some days we've just got to brace ourselves to give a whole damn lot more than we take. It's about learning to compromise and knowing when to stand your ground. But if lucky, it's also a beautiful blend of fabulous moments that far outweigh the fuckdom that can also be a part of what's not always wedded bliss. Number two, it's okay to write different chapters for the same story. In my opinion, being able to chase your own dreams is so imperative. It's okay to not live in each other's fucking pockets too. I don't know, for me personally, if I could have stayed with someone who tried to clip my wings so I couldn't fly. It makes so much difference when our significant other believes in us. What's even better is when they believe in us even more than we sometimes believe in ourselves. And when they're secure enough in themselves and the relationship to give you the breathing space to go after what's yours. But of course it has to go both ways. It's great to build memories together, but it's okay to do things separately too. When I was younger, I just never got how important that is. I think personally, having your own dreams, aspirations, and passions is good for the marriage as it leads to personal fulfillment. If you get held back from going after pursuing your own goals, then that can lead to resentment, will lead to resentment. Number three, you'll love them, but you won't always like them. Marriage is a blend of beautifully messy. It ain't ever going to be all sunshine and roses. And let's be real here, once that wedding ring goes on, there probably ain't going to be too many bloody roses. Shit gets real quick, especially when kids come into the equation. And if there are roses, you're probably going to be thinking, okay, what the fuck did you do? Settle down, just joke. Truth of the matter, we are all only human, we are all damn imperfect. None of us gets to adulthood without our own quirks, flaws, and idiosyncrasies. What we once may have found cute and endearing can get old pretty bloody fast. I call bullshit on anyone who says they never get fed up to their back teeth with their other half. I remember being in a chemist in Sydney one day buying painkillers, and the woman behind the counter asked me what they were for. I said they're pain in the ass tablets for my husband because today he's being a right pain in the ass. This was met by the laughter of other customers. Of course I was only being playful. This is the Aussie way, and something I know my husband himself would also find funny. He finds me equally a pain in the ass some days. Many, if I'm honest, I'm sure. If I'm too nice, my husband husband gets very sus. It's just not my way. Never has been. You know, treat 'em mean, keep 'em keen, yada yada. Of course I'm nice when it matters, but I've always been a playful stirrer, and he readily signed up for that. This miserable bloody woman then seriously said to me,
You obviously married the wrong man then.
I mean, seriously, she could have done with some lighten the fuck up tablets for herself. I often ponder how defensive that lady got that day, if on some level she knew that she in fact married the wrong man and was projecting that onto my light-hearted banter, as most people I know would find the humour in it. Because most people I know have moments they don't particularly like their other half. Well, they always love them, but to always like them, for most I know, is a bloody stretch. Sometimes I get in a mood and I just don't want to like him that day, nor him me. Sometimes we, or they, unconsciously do things that upsets the other. We give each other space and we get over it. Or we butt heads, lock horns and hash it out. Marriage is a mix of good and bad and all that's in between. Number 4, you married them, not their family. You married them and their family. This is a bloody fine line. You can protest till the cows come home that you married them, not their family. And yes, in part, this is true. But reality is, unless you're prepared to come between them and their family and cause a whole lot of future resentment, then you better be prepared for some extra chairs around your Christmas table. In my experience, where parents are concerned, blood is thicker than water. It does not matter how much you dislike or do not get on with your in-laws. There will most likely always be a part of them that needs to have them part of your lives. Set your boundaries where necessary, but even if you don't always see eye to eye, keep communications open. You don't have to visit if you clash or don't get along. But trust me, it's best not to try to stop them visiting their family. You never know what can happen in life or when may be the last time. And you never want to be responsible for taking away time they can never get back with their parents. Part of being married is trying to accept that their family is an extension of whom they are and where they come from. And if you're lucky like me, letting go of any indifferences can lead to more love in your life. Number 5, arguments are normal. If I had $1 for every argument or spat my husband and I have had over the last 30 odd years we've been together, I'd be close to being a millionaire, I'm sure. We'd sometimes argue over some of the most childish, stupidest of things, but most things got hashed out and sorted pretty damn quickly. My husband always knew with me, if I was arguing, he was fine. It was when I went quiet, he had to worry. Lucky for him, it wasn't too damn often I went quiet. I think it's pretty normal. When you're with someone a long time, you will argue. I think spats can also be good to clear the air, as long as you don't stay there. Number 6, you can tell them what you won't tolerate, but you can't tell them what to do. If you're anything like me, anyone telling you what you can't do will ensure that's exactly what you do. My husband learned real fast never to try and tell me what to do, and it's actually become a long-standing joke. He wants me to do something, he tells me not to do it. Yep, that's pretty much a certainty, but I'm onto him now. But before he came to this realization was many years ago when I mentioned to him I wanted a tattoo. He was appalled at the idea and told me that in no way was I getting a tattoo. I kid you not, I picked up my phone, messaged my sister, and told her to meet me in half hour at the tattoo parlor. I grabbed my keys and I was out the bloody door. I came back a few hours later, much to his horror, with a cherub on my back. More for me though, I gave it zero thought and merely pointed to an example on the wall. And they did a bastard of a job too. I did the same thing when I wanted my nose pierced. Got in the car, came back, yep, little diamond in my nose. Another time I mentioned wanting a belly button piercing. They'd only just come into vogue back then and they were expensive as hell. Again, he showed his disdain and said, no, don't do it. Well, of course, to me, that meant I had to do it. And knowing it would blow the budget and I'd be the one that had to make ends meet, I came up with my own solution. I walked around with an ice cooler strapped to my waist for an hour and pierced the bastard blasted myself with an earring. That went real well until it got infected. I'm a defiant thing. My choices, in case you hadn't realized, often get me in trouble. As for telling my hubby what he can and can't do, I've never really gone there. Well, I kind of have, but I've kind of made it seem like it is choice by telling him what I won't tolerate and letting him make the call. Lucky for me and him, he doesn't have my defiant Hellraiser streak. Number 7, it takes two. Every single aspect takes two. Unless for the most part you're on the same page, rowing in the same direction and not fighting against the current. Shit will be okay. Marriage takes a lot of bloody hard work. Give and take and compromise. But it takes two. You've both got to give and you've both got to compromise. Sometimes we've got to sacrifice the things we want for the things they want. So long as they sometimes sacrifice the things they want for the things we want. All the way it's you and them. That's why you're a couple and not single. Most importantly, you've always got to have each other's back. Of course you won't always see eye to eye. Things won't always be smooth sailing. But so long as you're in the same boat together, synchronization will help keep moving you forward. Number 8, no marriage will ever be perfect. You know why marriage will never ever be perfect? Because no person on earth is fucking perfect. Not you, not me, not them. Let me say that one more time for those in the back. No person on this earth is fucking perfect. There's only 2 people in a marriage, and what worked best for our marriage was not allowing any other person tell us what was right or wrong for our marriage. The real personal stuff stayed in our marriage. Does this mean others saw us as perfectly happy together all the time? Christ no. That would make us Oscar performing actors. But what will make a marriage stronger is getting any warped notion out of your head that marriage will ever be anything close to perfect. You'll slip up, you'll fuck up, you'll blow up, you'll make up. Your life ain't pretty, it's sure as shit ain't perfect, but it can be perfectly imperfect for you both. Number 9, they will hurt you, you will hurt them. Sad reality of life, it kind of rolls on from the last one. Marriage requires commitment and effort, and when you bring 2 less than perfect beings together, every day is a learning curve. Some days we may get our back up, some days we may be selfish. We may momentarily slip and not care in the heat if we hurt our partner. But the fact is, without question, sometimes we will blunder and fall, and the same will apply for them. They will hurt us, they will push us to our absolute limits some days. I think sometimes when we love someone, we are more susceptible to hurt feelings, being more sensitive and thin-skinned, especially if at any given time we feel disconnected. When we love someone, they have the power to hurt us, and we have the power to hurt them. But we and they also have the power to heal each other. Love is a beautiful thing, but love can also be painful. You hurt when they hurt too. Guess it all comes down to whether you're happier together or apart. Number 10, love outlasts lust. Over time, the relationship will evolve, and if you actually love each other as opposed to just lust for each other, there's probably more chance that the relationship will survive. Strong marriage won't always be date nights and bliss. Don't get me wrong, attraction and affection are a big part of the glue that binds a couple. But in my opinion, it's the substance beyond that that really holds a marriage. Being there for each other when the chips fall. When shit hits the fan, going through the good, the bad, and the ugly together. Defending each other always. Crying together, laughing together. Laughter is so important. Laughter brings people closer. Example, my husband tells everyone I call him a love machine. What I really call him is a fucking tool. But as my husband says, it's all about perspective, and his perspective makes for a happy husband. Just remember, lust in time may fade. Faces will grow old. Passion may become infrequent. Romance merely once in a while. But when there's love and laughter, those priceless gifts are forever. They'll always be in fucking style. Break out of your shell.